Welcome along today for a fun camping trip in the Alaskan Arctic. Animals frequently use snow machine trails for travel because it's easier than slogging through the unpacked snow. This area looks like it's being used for caribou for winter grazing. The wind has blown most of the snow off the ground here, so the animals do not have to paw down very far to reach food. A couple hundred yards ahead, on the hillside, you can see several caribou. Winters can be tough on animals, so there's no point in spooking them and causing needless energy expenditure. I filmed most of this video in time-lapse mode so the viewing process would go quickly. I figure everyone's set up a tent, and seen several tents set up as well. However, I have filmed parts of this video in real time to show a couple of unique items. I've already packed the snow down, so it's just a matter of unloading everything and getting camp ready for a quiet night in the Arctic. I built this little tent stove out of a couple old propane cylinders. It's really a dandy, durable little stove. A good ground cloth creates a barrier between the ground and your tent. It not only protects your tent, but also creates a moisture barrier between the ground and your tent. I'm positioning my tent to face the setting sun this evening. That way I can enjoy the last rays of the sun without leaving my warm tent. I've been working on efficiently setting up my tent, and I've learned a couple tricks that make solo tent setup easier. One trick with this tent that I just figured out is to set the poles up first, then attach the tent. I don't know why I never thought of that before, but it really makes this task much easier. I don't cook in my tent, so I'm going to make dinner while I set up camp, and that way I have a little reward when all the chores are done. I use a floor saver in my tent. This makes cleaning it out when you're done much easier, and it protects the bottom of your tent. Dinner's going to be a smothered pork chop and hobo potatoes, so I'm going to cook some onions and get the potatoes going. To make the process easier, I prepared everything before I left my cabin. I never bring a lid for my frying pan, so I just use a couple of old boards to keep the heat in. How's that for camp food? I shot this portion of the video in real time because I spent a little time when I was making this stove trying to figure out how to move it when it was hot, and I want to be able to share that process with you. I should have closed the air vent on the door of my stove, but that's okay. I closed it once I got inside the tent. I'm curious what you think about the stove process. Feel free to leave comments or suggestions in the comment box below. Thank you for coming along today, and please tell me what you think in the comment box.